Every day, thousands of Pizza Hut customers come to us for all sorts of delicious meals. For a fast lunch or snack, dinner for two, or a family outing. Nowadays, we even take Pizza Hut to the customer. They all choose Pizza Hut because they know they can expect the best pizzas, the best choice, the best service, and the best value for money. Our job is to make sure that we live up to that reputation. In the kitchen, in the restaurant, everyone's involved. It's the best way to keep the customers coming in. The restaurant crew have the most contact with the customers and the best opportunity to make a good impression. We're going to follow Susie, working a busy shift at Pizza Hut.
Table 2's ready. If they're smokers, I could always seat them in a booth. Only one way to find out.
The first contact you have with the customers is very important. Be friendly and open. Introduce yourself with a smile, find out how many will be coming, and then show them to a table that has been cleaned and laid ready. Check first if they'd prefer smoking or non-smoking. Keep an eye out for special needs, such as high chairs for babies. Once everyone is seated, hand out the menus.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Lovely, thanks.
And show children where their special menus can be found. Ensure you inform customers of the promotional item your restaurant is offering.
Oh, okay, sounds good, thanks.
You can ask them if they're ready to order at this stage.
I think a few more minutes. It's the first time we've been in.
If not, you might suggest they have a drink before the meal.
Please.
Me too.
2 regular Pepsis. Okay? Oh, sorry. Can you make one without ice? She doesn't like it. Of course. Thank you.
The man's in a hurry. I'd better suggest a pasta or a salad.
One of Pizza Hut's main attractions is the variety we offer. This means you may be asked all sorts of questions about the items on your menu. Remember, always serve drinks within 3 minutes of the order being taken.
2 Pepsis.
And serve cold drinks holding the base of the glass.
Oh, thank you.
And one without.
Thanks.
How you doing?
It's important to know what you're serving in your restaurant and how to describe
More
it.
about the pan pizza. Well, it's light and fluffy on the inside and crisp, crunchy and golden brown on the outside.
I'm going to have one of those.
Yeah?
Now, which one?
They're going to take a little more time to make their minds up.
Yes, of course.
Now for the businessman.
Hello, sir. Are you ready to order?
I'd like to have the quickest thing you can.
When a customer is in a real hurry, it's best to offer a faster alternative. And remember to suggest other items.
Salad then.
Always repeat the order to make sure you've got it right.
A mineral water.
Automated order pads are being introduced in some restaurants. Then tell the customer what you're going to do next and how long it will take.
Looks like it's starting to get busy.
Hello.
Good old Jo. Always there when you need her.
When the restaurant's busy, you might not be able to go to new customers yourself. That's where teamwork comes in.
That's him served.
Right, could we have a medium...
When you take the order, try to remember who has ordered what, and always be ready with advice if they're still not sure.
A medium pan Hawaiian for the kids.
Try suggesting extras like garlic bread or starters.
Any garlic bread? Oh, yes.
Then, as before, repeat the order to them.
So that's a medium pan super supreme.
And don't forget to tell them what happens next. This family will get their salad plate and garlic bread first, and their pizzas will be ready in 15 minutes.
Your pizzas will be about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, that's smashing. Thanks a lot.
To place the order with the kitchen, you attach the guest check to the make table, where the kitchen crew are busy topping pizzas. When you're serving in the restaurant, you need to be ready to take orders for takeaway. They represent over 16% of our total business. Remember to ask all the right questions so you have the information you need. The phone must always be answered before the 4th ring.
Hello, Pizza Hut Aldershot. Susie speaking. How can I help you?
The first thing to do is identify yourself. Say your name and the Pizza Hut you work in.
1 medium pan
Take the
Hawaiian.
order down carefully, using the correct
Could I have
pad.
extra cheese?
Help the customer, and suggestively sell items such as drinks or garlic bread.
Is that a large Pepsi, sir?
So that's one medium pan Hawaiian with extra
Repeat the
cheese.
order and then ask for the customer's name and phone number.
Could I have your name and telephone number, sir?
State the time and inform them the pizza will be ready in 20 minutes or they will receive a
Pizza will be ready in
discount.
20 minutes. Thanks
Thank
for
the
calling
customer
Pizza
for
Hut.
calling.
Bye-bye.
As soon as you've finished the call, pass the order onto the kitchen. It's important to do this as soon as possible to meet the 20 minutes guarantee. Let's look at those first service steps again. First, greet the customers with a friendly welcome, and then seat them at a clean, laid table. Then, give the menus out to each customer and suggestively sell the promotional item. If the customer needs help or advice, be ready to describe any of the combinations and choices on the menu. It's important to know what you're serving. Repeat the order slowly and deliberately to make sure you've taken it down correctly, either on your guest check or on the electronic system. You can repeat the order at the end or as individual items are ordered. Before you leave to put the order into the kitchen, let the customer know what to expect next and how long the food will take to arrive. Let's see how Susie's getting on.
Smells good.
The garlic bread must be served within 7 minutes of being ordered.
Menus are down, but they're in no hurry. Back in a tick.
On coming back to the table, always check how things are. The family has already been to the salad bar.
Okay, now for the young couple.
Your tables will often be at different stages of their meals. It's important for you and the manager to keep an eye on how all the customers are doing, usually checking up after the main meal has been served.
That's very kind.
Okay.
At the same time, another member of the crew may be helping to clear tables and get them ready for new customers. Teamwork again. As you go from serving to taking orders, you need to be aware of the time so that you're ready to pick up the pizzas when they come out of the oven. Again, check to make sure you have the right ones. When you take the main food items over to the table, first describe each pizza. With practice, you'll be able to remember who ordered which ones. With pan pizzas, you serve one slice out of the pan onto the plate. Don't forget to warn them that the pan is hot. You can also check now if they're still okay for drinks. If all's well, just leave the guest check on the table and wish them an enjoyable meal.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you very much.
I'd better check on their pizzas.
When your takeaway customers arrive, show them the same friendly welcome.
Hi, the name's Stevens, a medium Hawaiian with extra cheese.
Ah, yes, Mr. Stevens, your takeaway. If you just
Invite them to sit in the waiting area while you check if their pizzas are ready. When you have the pizzas, check that they're the ones your customer ordered. Check you're within the time guarantee, and then take them to the till for payment.
Is your takeaway set? Lovely. That's one garlic bread, one medium pan Hawaiian, extra cheese, and one large Pepsi. That's £8.84, please, sir. That's lovely.
Thank the customer by name, and always invite them to come back again.
So, Mr. Stevens, please call us again.
Thank you very much indeed.
How are you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah.
Tasty?
You should check to see the customers are happy near the beginning of the main meal, and again as they're finishing.
More Pepsis. One with ice, one with
Ask if everything's okay, and sell additional items such as drinks. Always add any new order to the guest check before getting it.
I reckon they'll be on for a couple of desserts.
Remember, serve cold drinks from the base. And always keep an eye on what's happening. This is the time to make your second follow-up visit.
Yes, very good.
See if the customer would like dessert or coffee. If not, thank him for coming and direct him to the till to pay. Susie's now making her second follow-up visit to the family.
You're struggling with that a bit, aren't you?
The children haven't managed to get through their pizza, so Susie offers to box it up.
How about yourselves? Would you like a dessert or coffee?
They've had a full meal and decide not to have any dessert or coffee.
Here we are. One pizza ready for the journey.
Remember to ask if the customers enjoyed their meal. Direct them to the till to pay and invite them to come again. Friendly, attentive service will always make a good impression on our customers. Let's just recap on the second set of service points. Drinks should be served within 3 minutes of the order being taken. If applicable, deliver salad plates when delivering beverages. The plates must be cold. Remind customers that there's only one trip to the salad bar. Make sure starter dishes have been cleared and pick up the main food orders. Make sure the food is as ordered. Serve the first slice of pizza to the customer and warn them the pan is hot. Ask if anything else is needed and leave the guest check neatly on the table. Keep an eye on how your customers are doing. Make your first follow-up visit within 5 minutes. Suggestively sell additional drinks and always add them to the order. If necessary, change the ashtray. On the second follow-up visit, suggest they might like some coffee or dessert. Clear away dirty dishes or cutlery. Offer to box up any leftover food. Thank customers as they leave the table, at the till, and when they leave the restaurant. Ask them if they've enjoyed their meal and invite them to return. Completely clear the table and reset it for your next customers. Let's see how many points you can remember. Just to start you off, greet the customers with a friendly welcome and seat them at a clean, laid table. Now it's your turn. Our customers come to Pizza Hut not only for the warm welcome they receive, but also because our pizzas are the best, with the tastiest selection of toppings. To make sure that every Pizza Hut restaurant or delivery unit is making pizzas to the same high standards, We all have to make sure that we follow the guidelines. The back-of-house staff start preparing for a busy day well before the restaurant opens. We're going to watch while John makes up the first batch of dough. He's following the first rule. Remember personal hygiene. In the kitchen, that also means no watches or jewellery.
Couple of batches now, and it looks like we're set for a busy day. Time to make a start.
While John is getting everything he needs together, let's just have a quick look around the kitchen. This cabinet is the proofer. It's where the dough is put to let it rise. It's been turned on ready for John's batch of dough. Next to it is the retarder, where the dough is stored to stop it proofing. Clean equipment and accurate measurement are vital for good dough making, plus all the right ingredients, of course. Oil, dough blend, and flour. If this is the first batch of dough, you should always warm the mixing bowl. A cold bowl can affect the temperature of the dough, making it take longer to rise. Then the thermometer has to be calibrated, making sure it will give a proper reading.
Right, down to 0 degrees. That seems to be working okay. Don't need the ice anymore. Now for the water. 37, 38, 39, whoops, 42. A bit more cold. 40 degrees, spot on. Can't have it too hot or it may kill the yeast. Too cold and it'll take ages to rise and taste stodgy.
Then measure the correct amount of water into the bowl.
Too much of that and I'd be making weak dough. Too little and it would be too dry for baking. Now for the dough blend. 2 packets for a full batch of dough.
Remember to check the shelf life of the dough blend. It contains various ingredients, including yeast. The yeast is what makes the dough rise.
A good stir to get it all mixed up together.
Remember to use the dough spatula. After you've stirred in the dough blend for 1 minute, leave the mixture to stand for a further 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes from now, 9:02. That'll give the yeast a chance to get going. Just the right amount of oil, as usual. Too much and the dough would just flop about. Too little oil and it would be too hard.
Stir it all in, with the dough spatula again, for a minute. And then the final ingredient, 10 kilos of strong flour made specially for Pizza Hut. For your own safety, make sure you put the safety guard on the mixer. And always remember to have the power off when setting up any equipment.
Main switch is off. On with the hook. Speed should be at 1. Set the timer for 10 minutes. And on with the main switch to start mixing.
The mixer will now run for 10 minutes. Let's just recap on what we've seen so far. Preheat the proofer before mixing. It should be set at 35 degrees centigrade. Warm the mixing bowl if this is the first batch of the day. Calibrate the thermometer. Adjust water to 40 degrees centigrade. Weigh the water and pour it into the bowl. Add the dough blend and stir with the dough spatula for a minute. Let the mixture stand for 2 minutes. Add the correct amount of oil and stir it in. Add the right weight of flour. And then set up the mixer with the power off. The speed should be at 1. The timer at 10 minutes. Then turn the mixer on. While the dough is being mixed, you can work on oiling the pans you need for the batch. The number of small, medium and large pans depends on the demand in your restaurant. Oiling the pans correctly is very important. Ensure you use the correct amount of oil. If you don't get it right, the dough will stick.
1 squirt of oil for a small pan, then tilt and roll so the oil reaches the marker lines. That's all the smalls done. Now for the mediums.
When the 10 minutes is up, the dough must be lifted out of the bowl for cutting. Follow the safety points about bending the knees and putting your weight on both legs. To make sure the dough doesn't stick, the cutting board has been sprayed with food release. As usual, all work surfaces must be spotlessly clean. Everything must be ready because the dough has to be panned and in the proofer in half an hour.
Set the scales to 0, cut off a piece of dough, a bit more, roll it into shape, and we're well away.
Always start with small pans, then medium and large, because the small ones take longer to proof. Before rolling these dough balls flat, you need to make sure that the roller setting is correct. Pan dough is only put through 1 set of rollers. Adjust the rollers until the dough is coming out the correct size. Be careful not to get your fingers too close to the rollers. Flatten the dough ball, then put the dough once through the top and into the bottom of the pan, leaving a centimetre gap all the way round. Food release is sprayed 5 centimetres from the edge of the dough to make sure it will slip out of the pan easily. It also gives the pizza a crispy brown crust. The pans are covered with a separator to protect the dough, and then stacked on the trolley no more than 7 high. This makes sure they all proof at the same rate. And an empty pan goes on top of each stack to stop air getting in and drying out the top dough. Every stack must be clearly identified. The time that the batch was made and its discard time must also be recorded. See your supervisor for details.
And a batch of perfect dough goes into the proofer. I'll give it 45 minutes and then take a look. 35 degrees centigrade exactly.
The proofer should always be set at 35 degrees centigrade. If it's too hot, it will proof too quickly, which makes the dough weak. If it's too cold, it will take too long to proof. After 45 minutes, check the pans to see how they're doing. The dough needs to have risen to a level between the marker lines.
I'll give it another 10 minutes.
Check again after 10 minutes, and again if necessary, until the dough reaches the right height. This time it's fine. The standard proofing time is between 1 and 1 1/4 hours. So, the trolley's now wheeled into the retarder to cool the dough and stop it rising any further. It has to stay in there stacked like this at least 1 hour at 2 to 5 degrees centigrade.
3 degrees, good. It'll be ready in time for the lunchtime rush.
The dough will be ready 1 hour from now. It will have a shelf life of up to 9 hours from the time it was mixed. So this batch will be okay until 6:15 this evening. Let's look at those last few stages again. Always use the correct amount of oil and run it up to the lines on the side of the pan. Spray the cutting board with food release. Safely lift the dough onto the board. You have 30 minutes to roll the dough and get it into the pans. Cut the correct weight of dough, then roll it into a ball and flatten it with the hand. Use the top roller for pan dough. Adjust it until the dough is coming out the right size. It should leave about 1 centimetre around the edge. Then spray the edges with food release to get a golden crust. Stack the pans no more than 7 high. Put an empty pan on top to stop air getting in. And then label each stack and ensure you record the time the batch was made and the discard time. Before wheeling the trolley into the proofer, check the temperature again. Set the timer at 45 minutes. Check if the dough has risen to a level between the marker lines. Keep checking until it is proofed properly, and then place the pans in the retarder for at least 1 hour at between 2 to 5 degrees centigrade. The dough is ready for the make table. Let's see how many points you can remember. Just to start you off, before mixing dough, preheat the proofer to 35 degrees centigrade. Now it's your turn. Every year, Pizza Hut restaurants sell over 500 million pizzas worldwide. That's because our customers know that we have the best tasting dough and the choicest range of toppings. And as well as the popular pizzas, we're always coming up with new ideas to suit every customer's taste. Since all our pizzas are freshly prepared, an order from the restaurant is the signal for pizza making to begin. Before we look at how a pizza gets made, let's just see how much pre-preparation work is involved. This is the make table. It must be turned on at least 2 hours before the restaurant opens. It keeps the topping ingredients chilled and fresh during pizza preparation. You need the ladle, the scales or the appropriate measuring cups, and scoops. The ingredients are refrigerated for at least 24 hours before they're transferred to the make table, 1 hour before the restaurant opens. They're laid out in the order they'll be put onto the pizza, starting with pepperoni and sliced meats, then vegetables, and finally the ground meats and fish. This is known as the PVM approach. We'll find out more about it a little later. The specification charts provide all the information you need for the amount and type of toppings for every variety of pizza. The first ingredient we need is, of course, the pan dough itself.
1 medium pan dough, perfectly proofed and retarded. This will help to make sure that we have a good clean edge. First the sauce. A few stirs to get the spices mixed in. Then spoon it on from the outside in. That way we won't get a soggy mess in the middle.
In your restaurant, you may not be using pizza rings, so extra care is needed to make sure you get a centimetre free around the edge. Always check the specification charts to make sure you're putting on the correct amount of sauce.
Now the cheese. Sprinkle it into the cup. Don't let it stick together in lumps. Then sprinkle it on, again from the outside in.
This is called the bottom cheese. It acts as a base to hold the toppings together. Again, the correct measurement is important, so choose the correct cup by referring to the specification charts.
PVM. That's P for pepperoni. 12 slices evenly spaced over the whole pizza.
PVM is not only intended to make the pizzas look good, it's also concerned with cooking time, with the ingredients needing most cooking going on last.
So P is followed by V for vegetables. The right amount of vegetable mix.
In your restaurant, you'll either be using cups or scales to make sure you use the correct amounts of each ingredient. This is our guarantee that the customer will get a consistently delicious pizza every visit.
Then M for meat. The correct amount of beef topping, keeping it well spaced out. And finally, the top cheese to hold everything together. Sprinkling it on like before.
Ensure that the cheese covers all the sauce, otherwise it would burn in the oven. If the pizza has tomato, this always goes on top of the cheese. Pizza Hut ovens are specially designed to give even cooking. They need to be switched on at the correct temperature and speed setting half an hour before the restaurant opens.
That's perfect. Another Supreme ready for baking.
Pizzas should always be placed on the far side of the conveyor belt away from the window. They must never be pushed into the oven. Let's have another look at the preparation. The make table should be turned on 2 hours before the restaurant opens. The oven should be turned on half an hour before the restaurant opens and should be at the correct temperature. Check you have all the ingredients and utensils you will need. Take fresh pan dough from the retarder and check height. Stir and apply the sauce using the appropriate amount. Work it with the back of the spoon from the outside in. Leave a centimetre rim. Sprinkle the correct amount of cheese into the appropriate measuring cup. Then sprinkle the cheese on from the outside in, covering all the sauce. Use specification charts to check the topping weights and amounts for each type of pizza ordered. Then follow the PVM method. Pepperoni and sliced meats first. Always space out the toppings. Then V for vegetables. Remember to use a different separator or cup for vegetables. And then M for meats and fish. Check the oven temperature again and the time setting. The whole pan must be allowed to emerge from the oven and then left to stage for 30 seconds. The cheese hardens a little, and this will stop all the ingredients sliding around when the pizza is cut. Remember to check that it's properly cooked by checking against your cooking chart. Use the pan grips to lift the pan carefully onto the cutting board. Remember, there's a different one for vegetarian pizzas. Slip the pizza out of the pan, then cut it into the correct number of slices. Taking care not to touch the pizza, slide it back into the pan, which has been placed on a cork mat. Leave a spatula tucked under one of the slices, and don't forget to leave the guest check so that the restaurant crew get the right pizzas. Let's just have another look at those last stages. The pizzas must be allowed to stage for 30 seconds after cooking to allow the top cheese to harden a little. Check the pizza against your cooking chart. Use the pan grips to lift the pan onto the cutting board. Cut the pizza into the correct number of slices, remembering to use a different knife for vegetarian pizzas. Slide the pizza back into the pan or into a box for takeaway or delivery. Place a spatula under one of the slices and leave the guest check tucked underneath it, ready for the restaurant crew to pick it up. If this does not happen quickly, inform the manager. Let's see how many points you can remember. Just to start you off, the make table should be turned on 2 hours before the restaurant opens. Now it's your turn. Pizza Hut delivery is already proving a success in the UK, with customers calling up day and night for our freshly baked pizzas delivered straight to their homes. The key to that success lies in what we call fast service. That's F for friendly, A for attentive, S for speedy in the unit, and for safety on the road. And finally, T for thoughtful. That's fast delivery, the way we do it at Pizza Hut. Let's just follow the whole process in more detail.
I don't know. I seem to get back later and later every day. Maybe it's time to try that new Pizza Hut in the High Street. It's 864 8012.
Good evening, Pizza Hut Webton. Mary speaking. How can I help you?
You've only just opened, haven't you?
The first thing to remember is always identify yourself and your unit.
Glad to see we're beginning to make our mark. Would this be for delivery or takeaway?
Well, I'd like it delivered if possible, but I don't actually live by the high street and I don't know if you come out this far.
Could I have your name and address and phone number, please?
The name's Jones. 1 Conifer Rise, Webton. Telephone 267 0031.
Can I just check that? That's Mr. Jones, 1 Conifer Rise.
Always make sure you've taken down the correct information
0031.
and check that the customer is in your delivery area.
Yes, that's fine. We can deliver.
Good. Well, what I'd like, I think, is one of those pan pizzas you do, the crusty ones, but I'm not sure what I'd like on it.
Always know your menu so you can be ready to help your customers with their selection.
Pepperoni, green peppers, mushrooms, black olives and onions on it.
That sounds perfect.
Always try to sell additional items.
How about a portion of garlic bread and perhaps a bottle of Pepsi to drink?
Okay, that sounds like another good idea.
Write the order down or key it into the electronic SUS terminal, remembering to include the order time and the grid reference. And then repeat the order back to the customer to check it.
That's a medium pan supreme with garlic bread and a bottle of Pepsi.
That's right. Now, how long will the whole thing be? Because I'll have to be at the front of the house to hear the
Once you have the order, tell the customer how long it will take in minutes. And if he asks, give him the total cost of all the items.
The total bill will come to £10.30.
Always record the total on the guest check.
It's now 6:14. Your order will be with you in 30 minutes, sir, or we'll give you a £1 discount.
Okay, fine. Thanks very much for your help.
No problem, Mr. Jones. Thank you for
Always
calling
thank the
Pizza.
customer for calling and invite him to call again. Then take the guest check immediately to the make table. Let's have a look at those key points again. Identify yourself and your unit. Ask for the customer's name, address and phone number and check they're within the delivery area. Help the customer with selections from the menu and always try to sell additional items. Write the order down or key it into the SUS terminal. Include the order time and grid reference. Then repeat the order back. Tell the customer how long it will take and give the total cost of all the items, recording it on the guest check. Thank the customer for calling, then take the guest check to the make table. The customer's order is now ready for delivery. Speed and efficiency in the unit means our drivers have the time to go safely on the roads. The first step is to be clear about where you're going and how to get there. At Pizza Hut, we pride ourselves on getting orders to customers in top quality condition. Pizzas must be kept in their thermal pouches until delivery, and always handle them carefully, holding them by the edge. Check you have everything with you, and record the time you leave. You should be on your way no later than 25 minutes from the customer's call. Allowing 5 minutes for your journey, that makes a total delivery time of 30 minutes. Remember, never stack the pouches more than 2 high, and no more than 2 boxes in a pouch. And when you're on your bike, it's safety first. The same applies to the owner-drivers we use in some areas. Follow the rules of the road, and make sure you get yourself and the order to the customer in one piece. As a Pizza Hut driver, you are our representative, and the way you behave, your thoughtfulness and attentiveness are all part of our image. Identify yourself first and greet the customer, making sure you've got the right address.
Good evening, Pizza Hut delivery from Mr. Jones.
Yes, that's right. Hello, sir.
Confirm the order is correct, tell the customer how much it costs, and take the payment.
I doubt the bottoms will be very hot.
Thank you.
And a bottle of Pepsi. Bye. Bye-bye.
Always thank the customer when you leave and invite him to call again. Then drive safely back to the unit to cash off and pick up your next assignment. Let's have another look at the delivery key points. When you're on your bike, it's safety first. Follow the rules of the road. Handle the order items carefully to make sure you deliver a quality product. Be friendly and polite to the customers. Always thank them for calling Pizza Hut. On your return to the unit, cash off, ready for the next delivery. Let's see how many points you can remember. Just to start you off, greet the customer politely, identify yourself and your unit. Now it's your turn.